Hi, this is Mimi from Mimi's Papercrafting. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are making a needle book. Now, I do a lot of cross stitch and embroidery when I listen to audiobooks or when I'm watching TV because I don't like to just sit there without my hands being busy. So I thought I would make a needle book because I constantly lose my needles. However, most people sew a needle book and I don't want to do that. So I thought I would make one out of chipboard and paper and felt like I would make a mini album. So we'll give that a try. So I just grabbed a spare piece of whatever size this is, doesn't matter to me. I have two pieces of felt in two different colors that match-ish my, this is actually pink, it is coming up red. No, there you go. There, it's more pink now. Okay. So this is a dark pink, this blue, and then I have the I Love Crafting paper pack I got from a mystery box not too long ago. So let's get started. I think what I'm going to do is make it small. I don't want it big either. So I'm going to cut this to, I think, 3 inches. 4 inches? We'll do 4 inches. And 4 inches by 5 is a nice size. So we'll do another 4-inch piece. By 5, and then maybe an inch. We don't need anything this big, we just need enough to put some felt in. And once again by 5. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Is this gonna work? I don't know. I found a piece of ribbon on the floor we can use. Oh, my lights. Okay, there we go. I found if I put my hand up to the camera, it kind of resets everything. I'm thinking it's the camera's getting messed up with my new lights. Alright, so now I have these pieces, and I'm going to make them like I would a mini album, so I'm going to cover them, but I think I'm going to cover them with plain paper. I don't want to waste a bunch of this paper. So I'm going to grab this gray because everything else I have is super bright. And we're just going to tape this on like we would a regular mini album. I just want something to hold a few needles because I'm really tired of, I lose them all the time. I have the habit of when I'm doing a cross stitch, I put my needle on the needle minder and then I throw it in a basket on the next to my bed and the needle just disappears constantly. So I kind of want to have somewhere that I can put the needle all in one place so I can put it away and not have to risk losing it in my container of floss. And my other one just gets thrown, I think it's also in a needle minder, but in a bag, so it falls off all the time in a bag, my embroidery. But like I said, most people sew a needle book, but I'm like, I'm a paper crafter at heart. I don't really want to sew a needle book. I don't want to sew one. just going to lay down the first piece where I need to put it, since I don't have to double up the paper because it's not that big. I can just put this down and move on. Come on. That did not want to pull up. And then I will cut my felt to size, and I think I'm going to sew it in. So I'm going to use my let's get this on straight. I cannot see to save my life here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use my crocodile or my big bite. I think I might have to use my big bite for this and punch small 1/8 holes instead of the bigger 3/16 and sew in. I don't know why I'm trying to be so perfect. I never usually am. Maybe because I'm very tired. I literally just woke up and I slept way longer than I usually do. And now I kind of feel like crap. Okay. Now I'm just going to cut off the excess. All right. Okay. I put that scissor away. Were you yelling at me to not put that scissor away? Ay, ay, ay. Honestly, and the weird thing is, everybody but my kid was still asleep when I came down here, and it was 9 a.m. Even my dad was asleep. He got up, opened everything up, turned the coffee on, and went back to bed. So my kid was the only one who was actually awake, and he went to work. He applied for college, you guys. So he's starting summer session at the local community college, which I think is a good idea because he has not been to a regular school, you guys, since 6th grade, because he was cyber schooled. When we moved here, he didn't want to go back to regular school, and I was okay with that, and I basically was like, I don't give a crap what your dad says. I'm in charge now, so you can do whatever the hell you want. So he wanted to go to a cyber school. So he hasn't been to a regular school since 6th grade. He also then needs a car. And I talked to his dad. He went to lunch with his dad on Sunday. Today's Tuesday, the 11th of March. So he went with his dad on Sunday. And I told him they have to go car shopping because he needs a car. He can't go to college and not have a car. He can't just borrow because there's a day that he's there for hours. The other days he can take online classes for some of his classes, but 2 of his classes are a lab that he has to take. So he has to go get a car, and they're both procrastinating. It's driving me bonkers, you guys. Like, what are you doing? All right, there we go. So we have the base of a needle book, like so. All right, and then what I'm going to do is cut paper from this to cover everything. Maybe I should use the gray. No, I still want to use, well, I'll use the gray on the inside. Why don't I do that? So I need this to be 3 3/4. No, 4 3/4. Look at that. I'm already by 3 3/4. That is crooked. That is very crooked. There we go. And then we need 2-inch piece by 4 3/4 for the spine. There we go. That uses up almost all the rest of this paper. I need to come down here and vacuum and empty all the garbage. Alright, I'm going to put a piece here, put a piece here, and then in the middle. I like to tape down my spine. I find with my spine, if I don't tape it down, it can get bubbly. And there's more, if you tape enough, you're getting more surface area than you might with glue. So that is why I tape down my spines. Everybody's up. Why is everybody up? Everybody was asleep when I came downstairs. I woke everybody up. That's the problem. Yeah, well. Put my tape too far up. Should have paid more attention to that. I'm just going to rub. That's the only good thing about double stick tape. You can rub the rest of that tape off. Okay. Okay, so there we go. That is ready. The spine, just getting the spine, training the paper a little bit before I continue on. And then I'm just going to glue the other pages in, and then we will cut some mats for the front. There we go. I don't know what's going on. It's my fault. I should never have left the bedroom. Now the dog woke the boyfriend up, so he's going to be pissy. Not my fault he stays up until freaking 4 o'clock in the morning. Alright, there we go. That's all ready to go. So now, let me clean all this up. Okay, that's all cleaned up. Let's find a piece of paper. To use for our needle book here. This is my issue, right? I love this paper. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm over here like, I don't want to use a piece of paper that I absolutely would want to use for something else. How horrible is that? I can literally use whatever I want to use. Maybe I should use the black. I think I'm going to use the black to go with that gray. You know, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now we got to cut this to size, which is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this to 4 3/4, and then I'm going to go right in a row so the pattern matches up. 3 3/4. I need this because I cannot get to. And then 3/4 for the spine, right? Yeah. And then 3 3/4 again. So now everything will line up. So it'll be a continuous pattern on the outside. Does it matter? No. But while I'm just using this one piece, why not? So this is the front, back, if we want it to be continuous. Like that, and like that. First though, let's cut this in half and add this as a closure. It'll be just enough to knot it. Like I said, I found it on the floor. So, I mean, honestly. Did I put away my double stick tape? Nope. Okay. If I can find the end. So I'm just going to put it there. Looks like a good spot. There, and then another piece over top of it, and then on the other side we're gonna eyeball it, you guys. Screw it, let's just eyeball it. I'm not here to do perfect today. I'm here to get crap done, because this is something I feel like I really need. So we'll get this lined up at least a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now I put away my weeding tool, which is what I use. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that goes on this side, this goes on this side. Let's just glue them down. And this piece. And this piece. All right, there we go. And then that will just tie closed. Okay. All right, now let's cut our papers for our papers. Let's cut our felt, shall we? So our felt needs to be 4 3/4 high. Just like everything else, we'll do it 4 3/4. Okay. Did I put, nope. I'm like, did I put my scissor away? I did not. I should really have fabric scissors for this, but I don't have fabric scissors, you guys. And I need fabric scissors. I just haven't bought any. I have not bought any. Let's see, that will not go through. So, you see that? I have these old whiskers that I used to use for fabric and yarn, but okay. And then 3, I'm going to go 3 1/2. I don't want to go too big and risk popping out of the book. So here it'll be like that. And then we'll do the same with this pink piece. Folding it in half and doing the same thing I just did. What I should have done was just taken out my cutting mat and use my rotary cutter. Oh well. Why not do it the harder way, huh? Why do I make anything easy? I don't. Alright, here we go. So these will get sewn in, and this is what it'll look like. So I'm going to use my big bite, and I'm going to make a mark in the middle of this, which would be 4 at 2 1/2 is the middle. I have a pencil here, so I'm just going to mark right there is the middle. And wow, am I struggling to see here? That was almost completely the middle of the middle too, you guys. Aren't I fancy today? I'm just making marks at this point. I'm going to make a mark, at 1.5 up and 1.5 down, and 1.5 up and 1.5 down. And I'm going to use those lines to punch my hole with my big bite. I'm going to go to the 1/8, which is the smaller hole. I made really 2 separate marks here on this and on this one that are I really made them crooked. What exactly was I doing? I don't know. That's 1.5. That is not 1.5. Okay. Right here is 1.5. Jeez. Okay, that was bad. That was, how did I mess that up? I was obviously not paying very close attention. And last but not least, okay, there we go. And then I'm going to take my bookbinding kit, because it's what I have, and I'm just going to get some wax thread, okay, and a needle and the binder clips. So I can just clip these in place when I go to put them in, because as you see, I did not punch holes. And I didn't punch holes because I didn't want to. Alright, you guys? I didn't want to. So I'm going to just clip one side of this down so it does not move. And I'm going to clip the other side of it down so it does not move. And I'm going to clip it there. We'll see if this helps and this works. I don't know, but I don't feel like punching holes in everything, so that's what we're doing. So it goes through, not a problem, because it is felt. Okay. And down to the other hole. I mean, if you wanted to use your awl or your big shot or your crocodile and punch holes in it, more power to you. I don't feel like it. Okay. I'm going to cut this as small and as short as possible. And then we'll move on to the next one, and then we're done. And I don't have any needles down here that I can, well, I have pins. I can show you with a pin, but I don't have any needles. Okay. Okay, so we have that there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blue, and then I'll be back. Okay, here it is, all done. And then all you would do would be put your, like I said, I only have pins, I don't have any needles, and that's what you would do. Easy peasy. And now I won't lose my needles, and all I'm going to do right now is tie this shut so it starts to say shut, because if you've ever made a mini album before, you know you have to really work it to get it to stop popping back open. And since I'm just going to let this sit here for the most part, because, you know, there we go. So there we go. Little needle book. All done. Thank you so much for joining me today. Boy, hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next crafty video. Have a great rest of your day.